Welcome to the Unknown Vault. Here, every mystery is not just a story, but a gateway to secrets long hidden. Are you ready to uncover what the world was never meant to know? If you are, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and join us as we unlock the unknown together. In the heart of the Atlantic Ocean lies a stretch of sea that, at first glance, seems perfectly ordinary. The waters shimmer in blue, calm and inviting. But beneath this calm surface hides one of the greatest enigmas in human history, the Bermuda Triangle. This mysterious zone forms an imaginary triangle between Miami, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. To sailors and pilots, it has earned a darker nickname, the Devil's Triangle. For over a century, stories of vanished ships and planes have haunted this region. Some vessels were later found wrecked beyond recognition, but many simply disappeared without a trace nor debris. No distress calls, no survivors. It's as if the ocean itself swallowed them whole. Picture this: a ship sets sail on a clear morning, the horizon bright, the sea calm. Hours later, radio contact is lost, radar screens go blank, the vessel never returns. Or imagine a squadron of military pilots on routine training, suddenly reporting that their compasses are spinning wildly, directions meaningless before, vanishing forever. Tales like these have cemented the Bermuda Triangle as one of the world's most chilling mysteries. What's really happening here? Are these disappearances mere accidents, tragic coincidences, amplified by the media? Or is there something more, something beyond human understanding? From ancient legends of the lost city of Atlantis to modern theories of magnetic anomalies, interdimensional portals, and alien abductions, the Bermuda Triangle has remained a magnet for speculation. For some, it's nothing more than myth, but for others, it is undeniable proof that our world still holds secrets far beyond our grasp. To truly understand the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, we have to turn back the pages of history. Records of strange events in this region stretch back centuries. One of the earliest and most famous accounts comes from none other than Christopher Columbus himself. During his first voyage to the New World in 1492, Columbus wrote in his journal that his ship's compass began behaving erratically when passing through the waters near what we now call the Bermuda Triangle. He also noted strange lights flashing across the horizon, mysterious glowing phenomena that his crew could not explain. Imagine, in the 15th century, long before modern technology, a legendary navigator like Columbus was already documenting anomalies in this very region. As international trade expanded through the 1600s and 1700s, more reports began to surface. Merchant vessels from Spain, England, and Portugal often vanished without a trace. Some wrecks were later discovered, scattered across reefs, but many ships simply never returned. Their crews disappeared as if swallowed by the ocean itself. By the early 20th century, these stories evolved into headlines. In 1918, the U.S. Navy ship USS Cyclops disappeared without a trace. On board were more than 300 men and thousands of tons of cargo. No distress signal was ever received. No debris, no wreckage, no bodies. To this day, the Cyclops remains one of the greatest unsolved maritime mysteries in American history. Then came Flight 19 in 1945, perhaps the most iconic Bermuda Triangle case of all. 5 U.S. Navy TBM Avenger bombers took off for a routine training mission. Soon after, the pilots reported their compasses spinning wildly, their instruments failing, and their bearings completely lost, even though the weather was clear. After Hours of confusion, radio contact was lost. The planes never returned. Even stranger, a rescue plane sent to search for them vanished as well, with its entire crew. These incidents cemented the Bermuda Triangle's reputation as a cursed sea, a place where conventional explanations seemed to vanish along with the ships and planes themselves. It was around this time that the media began calling it by a chilling name, the Devil's Triangle. So we are left with the question, were these simply tragic accidents of navigation? Or was there something else at play, something far beyond the realm of human understanding? After headline-making cases like the disappearance of the USS Cyclops and Flight 19, the Bermuda Triangle became a global mystery. But those famous incidents were only the tip of the iceberg. In reality, dozens, perhaps even hundreds of other reports have emerged, painting a disturbing pattern of loss in these waters. One of the most unsettling stories is that of Star, Tiger and Star Aerial, two commercial airliners operated by British South American Airways. In January 1948, Star Tiger vanished en route to Bermuda with 31 passengers and crew on board. Weather was fair, radio communications were normal, yet as the plane approached Bermuda, it simply disappeared. No distress calls, no wreckage, number. Survivors. Then, almost exactly a year later, in January 1949, the Star Aerial met the same fate. It vanished under strikingly similar circumstances. Two airliners, gone within a year of each other, with not a single clue to explain why. For the public, this wasn't just coincidence. It was chilling evidence that something far stranger was happening in the Triangle. Another case was the Marine Sulphur Queen, an oil tanker carrying molten sulfur and 39 crew members. In February 1963, it radioed its last position near the Florida Keys. Shortly after, it vanished without a trace. The Navy mounted an extensive search, deploying ships and aircraft across thousands of square miles. Only a handful of debris was ever recovered, nowhere near enough to piece together what had happened. The list goes on. Ships like the SS Marine Raider, missing aircraft from the 1960s, and private planes that simply disappear year after year. What's disturbing is the pattern. Clear weather, calm radio transmissions, and then sudden, total silence, followed by no wreckage, no bodies, no answers. Some researchers argue that natural causes, rogue waves, violent storms, or treacherous ocean currents could explain these losses. But if that's the case, why is there so little physical evidence? Why do so many disappearances end in absolute nothingness, as if the vessels were erased from existence itself? For believers, the Bermuda Triangle isn't just an area of ocean. It's a symbol, a gateway into the unknown, a riddle that science has yet to solve. Whenever there's a mystery, science steps in to provide a rational explanation. The Bermuda Triangle, despite being shrouded in fear and conspiracy, has been the subject of countless scientific investigations. Over the years, researchers have proposed several natural explanations to make sense of the triangle's dark reputation. Let's explore the most common ones. 1. The Gulf Stream. The Bermuda Triangle lies along the Gulf Stream, a massive, fast-moving ocean current that flows like a powerful river within the sea. This current can reach incredible speeds, and if a ship or plane goes down in its path, the wreckage can be carried away within hours. That might explain why so little debris is ever found by the time search teams arrive. The evidence has already been swept far away. 2. Extreme weather and tropical storms. The Western Atlantic is notorious for unpredictable weather. Tropical storms, sudden squalls, and even rogue waves can appear without warning. A ship might be sailing under clear skies, and then, within minutes, be swallowed by violent weather. Before modern radar and satellite forecasting, these conditions were a death trap for sailors and pilots alike. 3. Methane hydrates. One of the more fascinating scientific theories involves methane hydrates trapped beneath the seafloor. When these deposits suddenly release, they form massive gas bubbles that reduce the density of the water above. If a ship is caught in such a release, it could instantly lose buoyancy and sink. Similarly, methane released into the air could stall aircraft, engines flying low over the area. 4. Magnetic anomalies. There are countless stories of compasses spinning wildly in the triangle. Some scientists speculate the region may have unusual magnetic variations that interfere with navigation systems. If that's true, pilots and captains could easily veer off course without realizing it, leading to disaster. Although no permanent magnetic anomaly has been proven, the legend of crazy compasses remains part of the lore. 5. Rogue waves. Another contender is rogue waves. Giant, unpredictable walls of water that can rise over 100 feet, 30 meters. Even massive vessels can be overturned in seconds when struck by one. NASA scientists and oceanographers have documented rogue waves across the Atlantic, and many believe the triangle is particularly prone to them. In the end, these scientific theories offer plausible, natural explanations. Yet the question remains, if the Bermuda Triangle is simply the product of storms, currents, and methane gas, why has it become the most infamous stretch of ocean in the world? Other parts of the sea are just as dangerous, so why does this one carry such an aura of mystery? If science tries to give us rational answers, conspiracy and supernatural theories throw us into the unknown, where logic bends and speculation runs wild. The Bermuda Triangle isn't just a patch of ocean. Many believe it's a crossroads between our world and something far beyond human comprehension. Let's dive into the most popular and chilling theories. 1. Alien abductions and UFO bases. Perhaps the most famous theory is that the Bermuda Triangle is a base for extraterrestrials. Witnesses have reported strange lights, fast-moving crafts, and unidentified flying objects in the skies above the triangle. Some even claim that the ships and planes that vanish here are actually abducted for alien experiments, with countless stories of electronics failing mysteriously. Believers argue that advanced alien technology is manipulating the area. 2. A dimensional portal or time warp. Others suggest that the triangle is home to a rift in space-time, a portal to another dimension. Ships and aircraft don't sink, they slip into a parallel universe. Pilots who've reported reaching destinations far faster than expected are often cited as evidence of a time warp hidden within the triangle's boundaries. 3. Secret military experiments. Another theory ties the mystery to top-secret military testing. The US government or even shadowy global organizations are said to use the Bermuda Triangle as a zone for testing experimental weapons, stealth technologies, and even teleportation. Conspiracy theorists often connect this idea with the infamous Philadelphia experiment, in which a Navy ship allegedly vanished and reappeared for the lost city of Atlantis. The mythical city, said to have sunk beneath the sea thousands of years ago, is also linked to the Bermuda Triangle. Some believe that advanced Atlantean technology still rests on the ocean floor, radiating powerful energies that disrupt navigation and weather. This, they say, is the true reason ships and planes vanish so mysteriously. 5 curses and supernatural energy. Finally, some argue the Bermuda Triangle is cursed. The souls of those who perished in its waters, ancient rituals, or forces beyond comprehension may haunt the region. Tales of ghostly voices over ship radios, phantom vessels appearing in the mist, and strange shadowy figures only fuel this eerie narrative. In the end, while none of these theories can be scientifically proven, they capture the imagination in ways science often can't. For believers, the Bermuda Triangle isn't just a natural hazard, it's a gateway to secrets humanity isn't ready to face. The Bermuda Triangle isn't just a myth passed down through books or television specials, it's a mystery kept alive by real people. Pilots, sailors, and fishermen have shared chilling stories that defy explanation. These eyewitness accounts may not always be verifiable, but they are what truly breathe life into the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. 1. The Flight 19 disaster. Voices from the sky in December 1945. 5 Navy torpedo bombers, known as Flight 19, disappeared without a trace. Before radio contact was lost, one pilot was heard saying, "We don't know where we are. The compasses aren't working." Imagine the fear in that cockpit. 5 massive aircraft vanished into thin air, along with 14 men. Even the search planes sent after them disappeared, taking 13 more souls. The final words captured over radio confirm one thing: something was terribly wrong in those skies. 2. The SS Cotopaxi, a ghost ship, returns in 1925. The SS Cotopaxi, a cargo ship bound for Havana, vanished with 32 crew members. The last radio transmission reported flooding and engine trouble, but the ship was never found. Decades later, sailors claimed to have seen a ghostly vessel drifting aimlessly in the Caribbean, resembling the Cotopaxi. While skeptics dismiss it as maritime folklore, the legend adds an eerie twist to the triangle's mysteries. 3. Christopher Columbus encounter. Long before the term Bermuda Triangle even existed, Christopher Columbus documented strange events here. In 1492, he recorded that his compass began malfunctioning, and his crew spotted mysterious lights moving across the horizon. For Columbus, it was a baffling and unsettling sign. Today, his journal entry stands as one of the earliest records of anomalies within the Triangle. 4. Modern pilot testimonies. In the modern era, pilots report bizarre experiences. Some describe flying into a strange tunnel of clouds, only to emerge hundreds of miles off course or arriving at their destination far earlier than flight time should allow. While skeptics struggle to explain it, believers call it a time warp hidden in the Triangle. 5. Stories from local fishermen from the Bahamas and Puerto Rico have their own chilling stories. They speak of strange lights beneath the sea, glowing blue and following their boats. Others hear ghostly voices crackling through radios that aren't even turned on. Their tales rarely make it into official records, but through word of mouth, they keep the legend alive in island communities. These accounts, whether true or embellished, give the Bermuda Triangle its beating heart. Without them, it would be just another patch of ocean. With them, it becomes a haunted stage where history, fear, and imagination collide. For scientists, the Bermuda Triangle has always been a puzzle worth dissecting, not a curse to fear. Ever since the world became fascinated by the mystery in the mid-20th century, research teams from oceanographic institutes, universities, and even space agencies like NASA have tried to unlock its secrets. They launched deep-sea explorations, mapped the ocean floor, and built computer simulations to mimic the extreme weather conditions in the region. To them, every legend was also a potential clue. Oceanographers argue that the triangle is simply one of the most dangerous corners of the Atlantic, with deep trenches, unpredictable currents, and sudden tropical storms. The sea there has all the ingredients for disaster. From their perspective, it's no wonder ships and planes would vanish. Yet, such reasoning often leaves gaps that can't easily be ignored, like ghost ships found adrift with no crew, or aircraft that disappear entirely without debris. One scientific explanation that has drawn attention is the possibility of methane gas eruptions. Beneath the seabed lie massive deposits of methane hydra. If these gas pockets were to rupture, giant bubbles would rise to the surface, destabilizing the water and sinking ships almost instantly. Planes flying overhead could also stall if their engines encountered the gas. Laboratory tests have shown this is possible, but hard evidence of such an event in the Bermuda Triangle remains elusive. Then there's the issue of magnetic anomalies. Pilots have reported compasses spinning wildly, leading to navigation errors. Scientists explain this as natural magnetic variation, where magnetic north and true north can overlap, confusing instruments. But skeptics point out that seasoned pilots and navigators have vanished too, which suggests the explanation isn't always enough. Modern satellite studies have also revealed something terrifying: rogue waves. These colossal walls of water, sometimes higher than 100 feet, can appear out of nowhere and crush ships within seconds. For many researchers, rogue waves are the most convincing solution, brutal but natural explanation for the tragedies that haunt the triangle still. The debate doesn't end there. Critics argue that the Bermuda Triangle's legend is more a product of sensationalism than science. Accident rates in the triangle, they claim, are no greater than in other heavily traveled seas. What makes it stand out is the storytelling: books, the documentaries, the movies that amplify the fear and leave out the mundane details. In other words, the mystery might be less about the ocean and more about the human imagination. Yet, despite countless attempts to debunk it, the mystery clings on. Radio transmissions cutting off mid-sentence, ships vanishing without wreckage, and planes disappearing without a distress call. These fragments of evidence resist tidy explanations. Science can offer probabilities, but the Bermuda Triangle whispers of something deeper, something just beyond reach. And that is why it endures not only as a geographical location, but as one of the most enduring enigmas of modern history. While science has offered natural explanations for the Bermuda Triangle, the human imagination thrives on what science cannot explain. And in that fertile ground, conspiracy theories flourish, painting the triangle not as an ordinary patch of ocean, but as a stage for hidden truths and secret powers. These theories aren't just entertainment. They represent a collective suspicion that perhaps the world is stranger and far more dangerous than we are led to believe. One of the most popular ideas is that the Bermuda Triangle hides a gateway to another dimension. Ships and planes don't crash. They argue they slip into a parallel universe. To believers, the sudden disappearances make more sense as interdimensional shifts than as simple accidents. It's not that the wreckage isn't found. It's that the wreckage no longer exists in our world. This idea, as wild as it sounds, appeals to many who see the triangle as something more cosmic than just weather and waves. Another thread of conspiracy ties the triangle to secret military experiments. Whispers suggest the US government has used the area to test advanced electromagnetic weapons, technologies capable of scrambling radars and compasses. Some even link it to the infamous Philadelphia experiment, in which a naval vessel was allegedly teleported and cloaked during World War II, though the story has never been proven. Conspiracy enthusiasts see the Bermuda Triangle as an extension of those shadowy projects, dangerous, hidden, and never officially acknowledged. Others take the mystery even further back, tying it to the legend of Atlantis. According to this version, the ruins of the lost city rest at the bottom of the triangle, still pulsing with ancient energy. This forgotten technology, they claim, disrupts modern navigation and communication, whether Atlantis was real or not. The idea of a sunken civilization with surviving power creates a myth, too tempting for many to ignore. And then there's the extraterrestrial angle. Some insist that the Bermuda Triangle is an alien outpost, a refueling station for UFOs, or even a portal for abductions. Reports of strange lights over the Atlantic add fuel to these beliefs. In this narrative, the triangle isn't an accident. See, it's a zone of alien activity, purposefully hidden from human eyes. Books, documentaries, and movies have kept these theories alive, often amplifying them far beyond the raw facts. Every new disappearance becomes part of the mythology, each incident woven into a web of intrigue that questions not only nature, but government, history, and even our place in the universe. In the end, the Bermuda Triangle is more than geography. It's a cultural symbol of mystery, of doubt, of suspicion toward authority, and of humanity's hunger for the unexplained. And in that symbol, conspiracy theories thrive, daring us to consider, what if all the official explanations are just distractions, and the real truth lies somewhere we're not supposed to look? The Bermuda Triangle is more than an oceanic enigma, it's a cultural phenomenon. It doesn't just belong to sailors, scientists, or conspiracy theorists. It belongs to everyone. From the moment its stories began to circulate in newspapers and pulp magazines, the triangle leapt from fact into folklore, eventually carving out its place in books, television, movies, and beyond. It became less a location on a map and more a legend that shaped modern imagination. In literature, its rise to fame exploded in the 1960s and 70s, particularly with Charles Berlitz's best-selling book, The Bermuda Triangle, in 1974. Berlitz's work blended fact, speculation, and outright fantasy, drawing connections to aliens, Atlantis, and forces beyond science. With vivid storytelling, he turned a handful of mysterious disappearances into a global obsession. The success of his book proved that people weren't just curious about the triangle, they craved a myth they could believe in. Television soon followed. Documentaries and dramatized specials flooded the airwaves, some with sober scientific tones, others leaning into the fear and wonder. Programs like In Search of, with Leonard Nimoy, made the Bermuda Triangle a staple of pop mystery, wrapping scientific skepticism in a cloak of suspense. Millions tuned in, not just to learn, but to feel that same shiver down their spine. The possibility that somewhere out there, a force beyond our control was waiting. Hollywood, too, found the triangle irresistible. From B-movies to major productions, the idea of ships vanishing into thin air or planes swallowed by invisible voids became the perfect fodder for science fiction and horror. The Bermuda Triangle showed up in thrillers, in Saturday morning cartoons, even in The X-Files, where it was folded neatly into broader tales of government conspiracies and extraterrestrial influence. The influence didn't stop there. Music, comic books, and even video games borrowed from the Triangle's mythology. A song might reference being lost in the Bermuda Triangle as a metaphor for love or despair, while games turned it into a setting where danger lurked in every shadow. The triangle became shorthand for mystery itself, a narrative device, as powerful as any haunted house or cursed relic, but more than entertainment. The Bermuda Triangle reflected something deeper, our collective fears. It symbolized the fragility of modern technology, the suspicion of governments hiding truths, and the unease of a world where science didn't always hold the answers. To some, it wasn't just an ocean, it was a mirror reflecting our doubts and curiosities today. Despite decades of skeptical debunking, the legend endures. New generations discover it not through newspapers or Berlitz's books, but through TikTok clips, YouTube documentaries, and podcasts. And still, the question lingers. Is it just a myth or something more? That's the legacy of the Bermuda Triangle. It has outlived its victims, its skeptics, even the era that gave birth to it. It continues to captivate, to terrify, to inspire. It hasn't just swallowed ships and planes. It has swallowed our imagination, reshaping it into a legend that refuses to die. The Bermuda Triangle remains, even today, one of the greatest enigmas of our time. We've traced its history, examined disappearances, weighed scientific theories, and unraveled conspiracy tales. We've seen how it has evolved from a geographic anomaly into a cultural legend. And yet, despite decades of explanations, one thing remains clear. The mystery is far from over. Science has offered rational answers: methane gas eruptions, sudden storms, magnetic anomalies, human error. Each theory sounds reasonable, and yet none fully explains the sheer volume of disappearances or the way so many of them happened without a trace. Why here, of all places? Why this exact stretch of ocean, over and over again? Could it be that there's something more, something beyond nature, beyond science lurking beneath the waves? Conspiracies thrive where certainty is absent, and the Bermuda Triangle is perhaps the biggest blank space on the modern map. Some believe that deep below lies the technology of Atlantis, still pulsing after thousands of years. Others claim it's a dimensional portal, swallowing ships and planes whole. And there are those who are convinced it's an alien observation post, carefully hidden in plain sight. Whatever the truth may be, the Bermuda Triangle is more than a place, it's a symbol. It reflects our fear of the unknown, our suspicion of hidden powers, and our relentless curiosity. It frightens us because it reminds us that nature or something beyond nature can humble us in an instant. Yet it fascinates us because it whispers of possibilities we can barely imagine. Maybe that's why the mystery endures. Not because it can't be solved, but because we need it not to be solved. We need the unknown. We need questions that remain, open doors that remain closed. Without mystery, the world would be flat, predictable, lifeless. So after all this, the question comes back to you. What do you believe the Bermuda Triangle really is? Just a stormy patch of ocean? Or something far more extraordinary, something hidden from us, waiting to be discovered? Drop your theory in the comments, because every voice adds to the search for answers. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next journey into the unknown. Because remember, every mystery has two sides: what we can see and what they don't want us to see.